I got a penalty for drafting. It's probably gonna be fine anyway, because there'll be dead bodies everywhere. So I got a second penalty as well. Yeah, that's the stuff I'm not gonna comment on. To everybody, don't listen to anybody. The naysayers will always be there, and use it as motivation instead. If I speak, I'm in trouble. I didn't feel shit. Yeah, I'm stoked for the future. It's hard to find that kind of hype to describe. As all of you have seen, I've had a pretty close to perfect preparation into this race. Going into the race with just a lot of good sessions, and I've been rested and recovered, so that was the same in the morning. I just felt good, and it's cool. It was cool to head into Kona with all the triathlon, the whole atmosphere, and the everybody's just happy and hyped and ready to go, and a lot of nerves is kind of around in the area, so it's just cool to experience. Got the body marking and all that stuff done, and racked my bike, put on the shoes and everything, made sure everything was on point, and did some breathing exercises, because that helps a lot, and was just ready to go. Got a pretty... When we jumped in the ocean, there was like jellyfish out there, so like I have marks pretty much everywhere from jellyfish that stings a lot. And I was close to asking someone to actually to pee on me, because I thought that would actually help. But
if you had to ask somebody, who would it be?
Mitch, 100%, because he's so dehydrated that there must be something in that pee that would actually help.
Fair.
So yeah, the start went, and it's always chaos, but I actually felt like it was a good setting for me, and came around in the swim, didn't spend a lot of energy, and just felt good. I knew it would be a long day, so it was just about saving as much energy as possible on that swim, and came up in the main pack or main bunch, whatever you would call it. Rode well, got onto the bike, heart rate was good, power was good, and I could see everybody was kind of bunched together. And then Sam went up the road, so that was kind of perfect, and came on to the Queen K, and I could just feel like people were riding hard. Could also see on the numbers that it was a tough ride. So
on that beginning, was the power was higher than you had planned, or?
Nah, the power was as I thought it would be, because it's also, that is what you kind of see in T100 and championship races now, that people are just riding really well and riding hard. So that was also the case this time. And then it was just a tough ride, but actually managed to just ride well. It's difficult, because in one way I would like to address it, and in another way I don't want to address it really. Because I definitely know if I speak, I'm in trouble. Yeah, so I rode really well, and I was on top of all the carbs I had to take in, all the energy. Took in around 150 power, and that just worked really well. Body responded, and everything was good. until I got a penalty for drafting. A penalty I do definitely not agree with. This time I'll decide not to say anything other than I took the penalty, and that was how it was.
So when you were in the tent, like you lost the big group, could you just kind of...
Yeah, so when I was in the tent, I lost the big group, and at the same time I knew that people would be cracking because they went too hard and rode harder than they should. So I was like, it's probably gonna be fine anyway, because there'll be dead bodies everywhere. And I saw actually pretty quick Leon Chevalier, he did really well. That was cool to see. And then there was just a bunch of guys coming through, and I managed to to start riding again pretty well. Went quick down Harvey, and then it was just about I felt like I didn't have much in the tank. I think, you know, lacking a long period of consistent work due to injuries, that's the stuff you can actually feel in the 4th hour of racing an Ironman. So yeah, that was just how it was. And then I just tried to do as good as possible, also learning, because you can't get better lessons than from being here, and I just took in the plant energy, and everything went fine. Yeah, I don't know what to say actually. Okay, I can say I was actually standing up in the tent. I was kind of impressed the fact that I was the only one there. So it actually made it a bit more bearable that I had 30 seconds together with Gustav in there where we could chat a bit.
In the first tent?
Yeah.
Okay. So he came in after, like, when you were about to leave?
Yeah.
Okay.
And caught up. So we rode, I think we rode together a little bit before he probably blew up. And then apparently I am the master drafter in this, I'm the only one who's drafting in this competition. So I got a second penalty as well. And that's all I'm gonna say.
Just tell me, last thing about it, in the tent.
The first or second time?
Second tent, when I was there.
Yeah.
You actually had like still a lot of composure, in my opinion, and like, were you still fighting, or did you kind of know it was kind of over in some way for a decent result, or?
Seriously, 10 minutes of penalty.
Yeah.
It seemed more like there were some people out there who wanted to make a point that they have the power to ruin others' careers than watching a good race. Yeah. And then it was just about, like, when I came out on the run, I was like, I wasn't feeling it 100%, but at the same time, you know, I would just like to see if I could run fast. And that on LE Drive, I could see, like, when the other guys, they were coming the other way, that they looked like shit. So I thought some of them might drop, and just kept on going. But it was also like the muscular damage was pretty severe. So I couldn't really feel any. I didn't have any pop or any. Every time it was a little bit uphill, it's kind of rolling all the way. And every time it was just a little bit uphill, I just struggled a lot. So I just tried to hold everything together and caught a bunch of guys in the energy lab especially. But when I came up, it just hurt everywhere. And you know, when you're in spot 30, it's difficult to kind of kill yourself. When it started, my back started to hurt and my hip started to hurt as well. So I was like, oh, it's a long way home, and when it hurts that much and you're not really fighting for top 10 or whatever. So Decided to, yeah, just decided to finish. That was the only goal, and yeah, that made for some walking as well. It wasn't pretty, but got stuff done. And I would say there's two things that actually like really that was pretty special to experience. The fact that first of all, seeing so many fusion kids, tempo kids out there that was sick. It felt like it was Fusion World. So that was pretty cool to have that. And then the amount of people like who cheered me on, that was also pretty special. I felt the love from my fellow competitors and especially also all the age groupers. That was cool. And I would like to really thank you for that, because it's, you know, when it hurts the most, it's nice to have those small things that actually it makes a big impact, and it also made it more bearable to get into the finish line.
And why was it important for you to finish, even though, like, yeah, it's a, you know, you're in place 30 something. Why did you even want to finish?
Because 2 years ago I didn't finish, and there was no way I could finish 2 years ago. But in some way it sucks a little bit less, the fact that I did make it through. And I think also mentally it's pretty important, the fact that you just achieve something, even though it's not what you hoped for or dreamt of. But yeah, it was just important to make it through.
Yeah. And then I guess, like, what were you feeling running down the final 50 meters and crossing the line?
I didn't feel shit. I was sad and I was angry. It was tough also, you know, it's been such a good trip here, and like seriously, it's been the best triathlon related trip I've ever had. It was so good having Carl and Mitch here for a long time, and then also we've just had a blast, and I think you guys have seen that as well. Like, it's just been awesome. It's cool to have the possibility to travel the world with two of your best friends and just enjoy life, and that's something I'll never take for granted. And it's also memories I'll have forever. So, and then having my family here and my coach and his family here as well. I just wanted a good result, and that was basically just what I hoped for, and that was not the case this time, and that sucks. It's a lot of I wouldn't call it sacrifices, because I don't really, it's choices you make, so I don't think it's sacrifices, but it's a lot of time investment I make in this, and also the people around me are making. You know, it's, I know I pay him for it, but you know, Mitch is also spending time away from his family, and that's, you know, that's also a big part of it, because I'm not the only one who are yeah, doing that kind of stuff. So for all of us, I just felt kind of embarrassed, to be honest. But it's also out of my hands, and you know, I can, yeah, I think that's actually also the thing that hurts the most in some way, that it's something that is out of my hands, that just, yeah, that's the stuff I'm not going to comment on. Yeah, so after the race, I basically just went to the pro lounge, had a chat with a few of the athletes, and that was cool. afterwards. So just spending some time with family in the hotel lounge, and then we just went home, ate some pizza, and enjoyed each other's company. Had a good time, and that was nice. Yeah.
Yeah. And I guess like what now? Obviously, we see Patrick is like towards the late 30s, and if he can win, obviously like there's so much time left in the sport. So it's not like time is like the big issue. So I guess, are you feeling optimistic, even seeing that Patrick was the one who did win, and you spoke to him afterwards? Do you feel some sort of like optimism that like there's still such a like long road ahead of you in the sport?
Yeah, 100%. And in some way, there was a man who told me once that I have less talent. No, my competitors have more talent in their fingernails than I have in my whole body. But with the amount of training I've actually done to be competitive as I felt like I was yesterday, I think I might have some talent as well. So fuck him. And to everybody, don't listen to anybody. The naysayers will always be there, and use it as motivation instead. That's what I've done. Both me and coach believes that there are so much more to come, and I think obviously I'm going to go to Dubai and race the T100, but afterwards I'm just going to get stuck into it and work day in and day out, because I feel like, as some have pointed out on social media, that I never perform when it's the whole field are assembled. That's also how I feel, and obviously that's also, I want to perform on the biggest stage, and I think now it's just time to to keep working and keep doing the right stuff and make sure I'll not get injured again. We are on a really good path in that regards, so I'm actually really optimistic, and I think I'm just gonna work my fucking ass off. And it's also days like yesterday, you really understand how much it means to you, and yeah, I'm stoked for the future. Yeah, so that was the end of the Kona series for this time. Obviously it didn't turn out the way we hoped for, but at least it's still been a banger of a trip. So no regrets from here. Obviously it's still important for me to show the life of a professional triathlete, but I hope you enjoyed it, and then we'll see in the future what it brings. Is that it?
That's it.
Cool.